say what everybody else is saying right now, which is, market
Yeah,
needs
some
to
people,
go up.
they like even the post I put on the Facebook or something, or no, on the one of the group sites,
Yeah.
how travel insurance, that the things are changing. There, one guy reacted. So I feel that you have to be so this thing careful about right now. People are not
No, no.
concerned about all these buying insurance and investments or.
No, what do you mean he reacted?
So I actually said that the rules are changing or the things are changing in the travel industry on a daily basis. That's what the providers keep telling me, that please call back and check before you sell anything.
Right.
And so one guy said, are you trying to create fear for selling travel insurance?
Good. So you should, you can just reply to him saying, no, that's not what I said. Or you should just say nothing and leave him. And that's okay. I
Right.
think.
So, I didn't realize that you can actually avoid people commenting, which I didn't realize that there is an option.
But you
So,
should. You should not. That is not what is recommended, and you should not do that.
okay.
Like, are you on computer?
Yes.
Okay, let me just share my screen. I think I'm going to show you something, like, because this is something somebody asked, and it's not normal to have this. If you go into Facebook group, I actually posted this because one of the advisor who started to run the ad, he had a question on this here. So he said, comment on my Facebook post, how should I handle it, right?
Yeah.
So I just put this here, and you can just read this, right? So basically, here's
Right.
a framework, like, leave it. It's good when people have good and bad, because it just makes Facebook show it to more people because they find this is spicy, if you will. That's one. Second, if it is too negative and hate, because some people will curse you and they'll really go
Right.
after you,
Right.
then you can delete or you can hide it.
Right.
And then there are positive comments and you can add them as friends and things like that, right? So that's a simple way to handle it.
Right.
And I wouldn't go and not allow people to engage, because Facebook, I think, will probably not show it to anybody then, because Facebook wants this. People
Okay.
going after each other, people commenting, people engaging. This is really what is called the engagement
Right.
in the world of social media, right?
Yeah. Like today, I got a response I put about the coronavirus and how it's affected the investors. An article from Fidelity Investments,
Mm-hmm.
and one of the financial advisors said, "Can we chat?" So I said, "Okay," and I was chatting, and he said, can we come on Zoom on Saturday? I want help how we go about as advisors to reach out to people, and what do we do? How do, right now we don't have any earnings and no income coming in. So is there a way we can chat, financial advisors can chat and help each other?
It's a waste of time. I stay away from the guy or gal.
Yeah, so that only I got that comment on that post I did today. But yeah, but I was like, so my question is again, should I keep the comment section open or just
No, I
put
would
off?
leave it open. There's nothing wrong. I mean, sometimes these things do act as a feedback for you to
Right,
see what kind of content people are engaging and not engaging and all that.
right.
But I wouldn't. I'm just trying to figure out, like, why this is not showing, because I think some of these had a lot. Oh yeah, I don't know why it's not showing on that screen. But you see here, when I have some of these ad running,
Mm-hmm.
I had 22 comments, and if you look at my comments here, no grinding, no grinding, no money, right? So this guy is basically saying that I'm BSing here, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then people are giving opinions, right? Oh, if you're not willing to do this, then so they are talking to each other now, obviously, right? And there's more, right? So we 20 more comments, and combine all this thing, and full information. So some people are actually asking, in which I haven't had a chance to send these people, so I'm going to have somebody to do that as well. Take it with a pinch of salt. Know this, know that, no business, right? He's criticizing me, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
And this guy said, would you really get a help from a guy who holds his drink like this? So that's another one, right?
Mm-hmm.
I can just go and delete it, right? I can just, I can hide comment. I can actually even delete it
So
if I
when you
go to the,
hide comment, nobody can see that, right?
yeah. So what happens is when you hide comment, actually, he can see himself and his
Okay.
friends can see,
Okay.
but nobody else can see.
Okay.
If you delete it, I think you just get deleted, right? Like, so in here, because I'm on a different screen, I can't delete, but you can delete if you're an actual Facebook page. So for example, if I go here and if I go all the way down to some of the old posts because it will send me a notification when somebody actually um, messages or engages. I think
Yeah, right.
I'm just because Facebook will give a notification when somebody does something, and these are like a lot of my organic posts, but commented. Okay, so it's this guy, right? Okay, on Deepak Patel link. I don't know which link is this. Is it an ad? Let's see. So you typically have an option to either delete. So what you
Mhm.
should always do is after the fact, you can go and either hide or delete,
Okay.
right? For example, so here, so again, he's talking because of coronavirus. Okay, so everyone is worried about saving money and their health because of coronavirus,
Yeah,
and you are here trying to sell people. Come on,
right.
man. Right? Okay, perfect. So I can just go and say, you know what? Screw you. Done. Right? So
Okay.
simple. Or I can hide it, or actually, I should not have. I mean, I just did it to show you, but I actually wanted to leave it because then somebody else will, yeah, that is right. This guy is an asshole. Like, he does this. And then Facebook is, oh, shit, this is catching fire and show it to more people.
Hmm.
And then suddenly somebody will come, some sane man will come and say, oh, you know what? I actually like what the guy is saying. Dude, please send me more information. He watches the
Hmm.
video, books a call, become a client, and maybe on the call with me.
Right. Right.
So these things, like, as I always say, like, social media is not a platform just to show good things. Like, we want to show who we are
Right.
as much as possible. Obviously, we're not trying to show like our day-to-day crap and all that. But
Hmm.
if you if you posted the travel insurance thing as an advisor, you felt that was something that is important to people to know.
Yeah.
So you posted. That's your point of view, your thing. Now it's for people to watch it, and they
Hmm.
will ask questions. They will comment. Sometimes you can engage and respond because you can
Yeah,
legitimately
so
respond.
I did get a positive response on that line. Somebody said, please contact me. My family is coming in 2 months.
There you go.
And so I did contact him and we had a chat and he asked me for quote, and
Perfect.
I
So you
told
got
him
a
the
lead.
quotes.
You got a
Yeah,
lead
yeah,
from a post.
right.
See, and this is the same one somebody said,
Yes.
are you trying to
Are
scare,
you
right?
trying to? Yes.
See,
So when this guy put his contact number saying, please contact me, I have some question.
mhm.
That guy commented after that.
Doesn't matter. But what I'm saying
Yeah.
is, this is how it works. Life is all about good and bad together.
Right.
And you saw exactly, look, one post that you did, and you literally saw this example,
Right.
right? This happens, and that's why you can't have all the goods. It's
Yeah.
impossible, right? So if
Right.
you look at this one, so look at this. This is a summary, right? Or this is an
Yeah.
ad. This is a paid ad, right?
Right.
But you can see 167 people liked.
Mm.
People laughed at me.
Yeah.
There were two people angry at me, and there
Right.
were 40 comments and 8 shares,
Right.
and 10 people loved it, right? So this Facebook uses an algorithm to use a mix of this to
Right.
determine the validity of this and how
Hmm.
good this stuff is. But
Right.
if I had everybody hate me,
Right.
nobody had any engagement, then Facebook will think I'm really bad, and they would actually kill the ad and shut me out.
Right.
But this also is a fuel to the fire,
Hmm.
and the more popular you get, this
Hmm.
is going to happen. The more you go on social media, so when you go on social media, start posting content,
Hmm.
you need to be very aware of this going to happen, and you need to develop just an habit, and it only comes with doing it. So what you did is good. I would say that guy's comment is not too bad, so I would leave it.
Hmm.
Sometimes, as I said, like, people will really go negative. And what I always delete whenever I see, I don't have always time to see, but some people would actually try to sell on my post. There are
Hmm.
some advisor who will post and say, hey, if you need this investment advice, please reach out to me. They will say that. So if somebody's trying to market on my paid ad,
Hmm.
I just find it bad. So I just delete the damn thing.
Hmm.
Right? I don't even watch all of these things.
Okay.
But some you can set some ground rules personally and say, what, I don't, it bothers me. Because if something bothers you, and let's say you're going to bed at night,
Yeah.
and if you demand, oh shit, man, this guy did this, and you
Yeah,
can't
because
sleep for
for
two
me,
hours.
it's like I'm telling the truth. Like I'm not trying to ditch anybody or trying to sell something that is like. So for me, it
No,
was
but
like, why such a comment? Like
no, no,
I
no,
think
no.
for me,
So,
it was the first time. So
right.
going forward, I know I have to be a
Yeah,
little stronger and accept
exactly.
these kind of comments. Yeah.
Yeah. So I think there is some level of strength you have to build.
Yeah.
But sometimes, like, some things gets all of us, right, when it is extreme. So I think we want
Right.
to have the extreme thing that hurts us, like,
Right.
throughout the day, and
Right.
screw us, our work and our life.
Yeah.
Then we want to to delete it. And we should
Mhm.
never ever respond to those people. We should simply delete it because we never want to fight with people on social media. That's a
Yeah,
big
so
one.
I was not sure whether I should delete or whether I should respond. And I
Yeah.
said, if I
So
respond,
respond.
another 10 people are going to
No.
attack me on different things. So,
Yeah. So there's a strategy of response, and that's why it's best to leave it and not even respond. But when, I do respond to people, and there's a way to respond. And again, it's all about word science, as we always say.
right.
But if you can respond to people being extremely positive and respecting even the negative person,
Mm,
their opinion, for example, something like this, like, hey, John, I fully understand your point of view.
mhm,
And again, you could be right from the way you look at it, but I felt that because I'm hearing this from my clients,
mm,
I just wanted to make sure that I share something that I honestly believe is something important for people to learn at this point in time.
right.
If you say that,
Yeah.
that guy is not going to take a big offense
Hmm.
because you told him. Remember, our it's the same psychology when you respond to people on LinkedIn. You acknowledge them
Right.
and you tell them that you are right.
Hmm.
But here you're saying you're right, maybe from your point of view, and that's fine.
Right.
He will get really angry if you tell him that you are wrong.
Hmm.
And then he'll say, oh shit, let me bring up everybody in my neighborhood and go after this lady. But if you tell him that, no, man, you're right. But then you also don't say that I am wrong. See,
Yeah.
just because he's right doesn't mean you are wrong.
Right.
You can just say, okay, you are right from your perspective.
Hmm.
And I believe on this and I'm right from my because I'm hearing it from, and then you kind of support yourself with my clients and I'm hearing from people and stuff like that.
Right.
And then it will calm him down or not, doesn't matter, but it still is a good response. And other people who read that,
Hmm.
they actually might like you because now this reflects your character.
Hmm.
So this is the power of social media, right? Now people get to learn about NIFA without even knowing NIFA
Right.
because they can see how you deal with a situation. And
Okay.
sometimes that will gain more people to you.
Right.
So these,
Yeah, going forward, I'll do that because I was like, I said, if I put something like reply to him and then another 10 people ask me something else and I will be engaged and maybe I don't know where it's going to lead.
yeah.
And
So the
so,
standard response is no response. It's the
yeah,
first one.
right.
No to negative. So what I do is like, I'm going to actually have some of one of my admin persons. So they're going to go to all these things, and I have done it in past.
Yeah.
So he would actually send. So what I would do typically is then I'll go to her and actually add her as friend,
Hmm.
and then I also send her a private message
Hmm.
with information what she's asking, and then I'll reply here in public and say maybe I did actually. Um, you will not get the full info until you sign up with him. Okay, so there's somebody else telling him. That's fine. So, but if I respond to this lady, then I will come back and say, yep, Sandeep, I just sent you a private message.
Okay.
So that is a public response saying, I sent you a private message, and then I will send her a private message with the information on the training. So you do go through this. In my case, I'm actually having my admin do that now because there are a lot of people who are saying information, please, and I'm actually losing all these leads.
Mm.
Very interested, please call me. This guy even put his number here,
Yeah.
right? But again, my process is very simple. Like in your case, you should call them for sure, but I don't call anybody
Hmm.
because I don't want to talk to this guy or gal unless they watch my video. So I have my process nailed down, but I will reply to them.
Okay.
I will add them into my lead database, but I do want them to follow the process and see, is it free? Any strings attached? Hidden fees? Must you be a captive agent? People are having all kind of things.
Right.
The funny thing is like, and this is as dumb as it is, but there are many of these.
Right.
Look, it says info, please. Can
Yeah.
you not freaking read the damn thing?
Yeah.
And it says click here. Like,
Right.
come on.
Right.
But no, people are like that, right?
Yeah.
And there are many of them. No, there's not one. Actually, I have like 10, 15, 30, 40 of them on one ads.
Right.
So we do leverage these to find opportunities of good people.
Hmm.
This guy, no, I wouldn't even bother, right?
Hmm.
And sometimes actually some people, I see that they are advisors. So I won't reply them here, but I'll just try to add them as friend.
Right.
Because the reality is he's bitching about me right now because he doesn't know me. But if I add him as friend and if he goes to my personal Facebook profile,
Hmm.
immediately he may change his opinion about me and he might accept, and again, it's up to him to be a friend.
Mm.
And if he becomes a friend, then he's going to see everything I post. And that's going to elevate what I do in his brain. So something that started as a negative
Hmm.
can lead into a lifelong relationship as a client. So all this thing is powerful, right? It is like snowball, right? It's going to be some shit and it's going to be something nice.
Right.
And And it just comes down to mental, personal awareness of it, and it just comes with experience. So I think what you have started, and actually I'm very happy that you know, I've seen some of your content actually is good. You know, you're starting to learn how to write, which is awesome.
Yeah.
And
Okay.
you
Yeah.
know, and it's
I have a
generating.
lot of information from providers, and we get lots of information from providers. So I'm trying to pick up some information from all these sources and then create some ads. Yeah.
Yeah, like you want to do that, and that will help you for sure. But the thing that I always tell you is like the main thing, um, that you really still, I think in your case, I would say the main thing you still have to persist and master is interaction with people and dealing with objection.
Mm-hmm.
That you will have to keep working on it, because that is the most important process.
All right.
Like posting all this is great, but this is not our main thing.
Yeah.
Right, it is important to add value to the community as you grow, but if you can't talk to people, if you can't learn, get them on the phone call dealing with
Right.
objections, and it's not just that, but also it could be that you're invited. I think in your case sounds like we still haven't figured out the right ideal market
Yeah.
that would generally be very open to talk to you, right? So I think we got a little complex process to work on, which is to really define who should you be inviting to right now.
Right.
And I think we need to be cognizant of it and keep working on it. So I wouldn't
I'm just
necessarily.
inviting managers, directors. That's it right now.
I know, but that is fine. But you now need to track and see if you have invited 200 of those people, and I think 200 is a decent number. So let's say 200 people invited, 200 messages sent, and if you have very low response, then there is probably, this may not be a good fit. So you and I need to go back to the whiteboard again in this call and say, you know what, let's not invite these people. Let's find a different group of people. Maybe we find, I don't know, we'll come up with a different group of people, and then you want to run this whole process again on them.
Okay.
It may look like painful thing, but it's better than inviting the same damn people and wasting another 3 months, because chances are you may not get anywhere because the data tells us that they're not responding. So we need to
Right.
respect the data.
Right. That's what I was saying. Like I didn't do for last whole week because I felt that I'm inviting managers, directors. I'm getting no response at all.
So
So
have you been putting the tracking sheet properly?
no, I'm not putting a tracking sheet right
Yeah,
now.
I would just, see when you're not doing, see, this is a great time
So
to.
tracking sheet, I have to really manually do it, right? Because I don't have the what is that called?
No, tracking is a manual process
Okay,
for
so it's
everybody.
not because I don't have the
So
other version. No, it's
no,
okay.
so let me just show you here. So yeah, you guys will get better value because you see the videos coming on time, you see the calls are scheduled upfront.
Right.
But again, like, as you see, very few people are coming to the call. So even in my program, you see people are probably not doing as much right now, which is a bad thing, obviously, but still.
This is the time you should be really going to town.
Yeah, and people should be coming and asking
Doing
questions.
more
Yeah,
instead of less.
yeah, like, and you can even do the same amount of effort, but you just have to think slightly differently, right?
Yes.
Like as I mentioned, so instead of doing like an hour on LinkedIn, maybe decide to do 30 minutes on LinkedIn, but then 30 minutes of calling your existing client. So you're still doing the same work amount, but it's slightly different, right? Given the changes going on.
Right.
So you have to like, see what is the best thing can be done today to help grow your business.
I was wondering about online webinars, like like instead of like a seminar. I
I'm
never
going to talk
did
about,
seminars,
yeah,
but
so I'm going to talk about that.
webinars.
Yeah, so I'm going to talk about that, I think, in the coming week 4 nurturing side of it. So yeah, that is a good thing to do. If you have Zooms, then you can just start doing it again. The main thing in the webinar path is there are 2 parts of it, and I'll have a proper training as we get through that part of the module. But there's a content part of what you do, and you want to obviously have like a proper content created. Eventually, you can start with something simple, and you want to have few themes, 2 or 3 themes of this webinar. But then the key part of webinar is to really bring people into the webinar. That's always the hard part.
Right. You have to bring people into it. So you don't you like need a funnel to bring them in and to have them register and to get all their information so you can have a follow-up program so they come to the webinar and all that stuff.
Yeah. So the webinar funnel by itself is very complicated. Like if you automate the whole thing, it's very complicated, fairly expensive, because generally those type of funnel need to have a paid traffic. And I have never done a webinar paid traffic. And I think they're starting to decline in efficiencies online. So I wouldn't think like that. I think what I would think is, right now just come up with the webinar content, and then you just want to, for now, I wouldn't run any paid traffic, because paid traffic should be run into a simple campaign that we are going to show you, and then a video campaign eventually that you're going to get to, like my campaign.
Mm-hmm.
And they're pretty good campaign. You don't need to go through complexity. Like I don't have webinar complexity because I don't need right now. I think my campaign works pretty good,
Mm-hmm.
and it does the job, and it's much simpler.
Yeah.
But webinars is what you're going to do in organic, and this could become a little bit more work, but may still work is if you have. So what you do is you reach out to people on LinkedIn and go and reach out and ask them, or Facebook, and say, hey, listen, I'm hosting this webinar. Would you be interested? If so, register here, which is like the Zoom link that you register to join this call.
Right.
And that could be just, so you're manually inviting people. And even if you got 5 or 7 people, that's okay.
So I can just use the Zoom meeting link. I don't have to buy their webinar link thing, right?
No, so you have to buy a webinar. So I have a webinar. So the one you are attending right now is a webinar.
Oh, okay, because I have a meeting one. I pay for the meeting one. It's
meeting is one-on-one, right? So you can do broadcast. So this
it says you can have 100 people.
Yeah, so you can try that out. I think I did webinar. Let me think why, because I wanted to have recording capability and all that.
Right.
And email capability and all that. So webinar has some features on Zoom, and I will be providing Zoom as a tool when I teach you how to do webinar, like showing you how to use it.
Okay.
Because it has a reminder email that goes, it has a reminder email at the later, it kind of shows how many people exit. So it has a webinar capability and analytics to show you how things went. You could very well start with the basic version with an email, as long as you can broadcast and do a presentation to a bunch of people, which I think you can. You're right, in the meeting you can.
Yeah.
And you're only going to get 4 or 5 people in the beginning. That's okay.
Right.
The key is to get 5 people to listen to you. Right? That would be a pretty good start. And to do 5 people, you may have to send 200 messages or something on LinkedIn in the beginning. Because running a paid traffic is a very complex funnel, and I wouldn't recommend, because I personally don't do. So I don't.
Right.
And I know the reason I do. I mean, it's a next level funnel I can evolve to in my business, but instead I'm just sticking to what I have and improving that. So right now we are testing a new funnel with a different video, and more questions we're asking people before they book the call.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm tightening it with some few changes on a same core funnel, which is the same fundamental funnel. But I do want to get back into webinar myself. So what I'm going to do is, which I'm going to teach you is, every 2 weeks or every week eventually, I will start doing a webinar to people who register through LinkedIn and Facebook.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll try to bring 30 to 40 advisors onto a live webinar every week. And I'm going to be making an offer for them to book a meeting with me.
Right.
Right. So that's something which I'll be doing. I'll be using the same webinar that you're.
So you'll show us how to do the offering and stuff like that for meetings and stuff like that.
Yeah, exactly. So you want to just pick some topic that you have, like, in your case, this whole annuities and guaranteed income.
Yeah, I have some, PowerPoints that the IMO already gave us to do a seminar.
Yeah, I think, as I said, to be honest, you can present anything that you have right now. That's not the tough part. The key part is, can you get people into it?
Right.
And I think the simple way to do that would be just reach out to your LinkedIn connection that you're building and say, hey, listen, I'm hosting this webinar. Would you be interested in attending? And that would be the follow-up as a second message to people who did not respond or who were not interested before. So this gets back into the nurturing part later.
Right.
You might be thinking, what the hell are we going to do with people who don't respond? Well, we're going to go back and ask them if they want to attend this. We're going to make a post on LinkedIn and Facebook saying, hey, this Wednesday at 2 o'clock, I will be hosting a live webinar and talking about top 3 ways to get guaranteed income in your retirement. Simple. And then you market that for like a week before by posting every single day, and you reach out to people, 200 people, and track it with tracking sheet and see, by doing that, were you able to get 5 people or 10 people in the meeting? And if so, did they all attend? And all that, right? So there's a whole funnel.
Right.
But so this way, everything you're doing right now will be used later.
Okay.
Like all the people you're adding, because running paid traffic, it just becomes very expensive. You really have to have a lot of budget to run traffic on webinar. Now we're talking hundreds of dollars a day.